Hello everyone, this is Crota coming at you, giving you game 1 in a series between Infi and Nicker. This is taking place on Nomad Isle, taken from the WCA, one of the biggest tournaments that's currently going on right now. If I actually had more time and this was my full-time job, I'd research everything for you, get my wife to translate everything, and, well, tell you really what's going on in the world of WarCraft 3. However, I'm just kind of piecemealing this together. I do apologize, but I do thank you guys for watching all of my coverage of all of the recent tournaments. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at this Night Elf versus Human matchup. We are now at the 2-minute mark. Archers quickly taking down a peasant before the scout farm can go up. So that farm will end up getting cancelled, most likely. Meanwhile, the Archmage of Infi opening to take down this giant sea turtle creep camp, even though the spider behemoth is the main creep camp. Why do you do that? Maximizing your time, allowing excuse me, wow. Allowing those peasants to go ahead and take those down. For those of you guys who are like, hey, why is he sneezing on the air, essentially? I had to unplug my my kill switch or cough button because it was actually introducing a little bit of noise into the recording, so my apologies there. Anyways, you can see Nicker opening up here with a Dark Ranger, and it was a Tavern Hero opening up here, so interesting choice coming in from Nicker, as he opted to go for a Tavern Hero. Will have a lot of skeletal minions, and this should actually open up for some very strong creeping. The Dark Ranger is generally very mana intensive, but because of those early Moonwells, it's very easy for a Dark Ranger to just continue to build up a rather large army. Meanwhile, let's take a look at what Infi's doing. Both of these players opting to play a very aggressive creep style game. We are taking out a 5-4-3 creep camp here. The militia taking down a renegade wizard, and this is a little bit more difficult. Nice play by Infi, using the abolish magic to remove the frost armor on that renegade wizard. Because of those peasants, the peasants end up getting slowed a bit more than you would realize. And now what's going to be happening here? Are we going to take down... Oh my goodness, that militia almost taken down. And now the Dark Ranger pretty much caught in a really dangerous spot. All right, abolish magic going all across the place here. Let's take a look. A lot of skeletal minions. The Dark Ranger has nowhere to hide. Ends up using a Scroll of Town portal. And what is going to end up happening here? A whole bunch of skeletal minions. The skeletal minions actually wanted to stay nearby. Oh, take down that peasant. Take down that peasant. Oh, that peasant is so low on hit points. One more blow and it will do it. Oh, he raised his sword, but Infi able to keep that low hit point peasant alive just with a bit of luck there. Meanwhile, Dark Ranger now coming over once more, does have full mana and is ready to engage. Infi is going to have a little bit of a problem here, as the Dark Ranger is rather strong of a hero, and oh, the Shadow Meld not in time. The fireball was on its way. Meanwhile, let's take a look at this. The Dark Ranger quickly gets that peasant and now quickly turns it on his own brethren once more. All right, this one poor peasant going to be taking a lot of damage, and oh, dodges a bit of a bullet once again, as we are looking at the Troll Shadow Priest that doesn't have enough mana. All right, Shadow Meld does work in time this time around, as the Dark Ranger still dancing around in a circle. It looks like, yes, another skeletal minion will be joining this fight, and the Dark Ranger is really playing this very smartly. All she's doing is making sure that skeletal minions are constantly being produced, and those are going to be the harassment that Infi has to deal with. I am fighting a bit of a cold, my apologies here. Also, Nicker doing a good job with a lot of Wisp all across the map. I really like his Wisp coverage on Nomad Isle here, and Infi is pretty much just staying in his neck of the woods. What's going to end up happening here is, though, Infi will get to level 4 and is going to have this expansion up momentarily. He already has the Arcane Tower now being upgraded, so that means that the skeletal minions will not be able to harass, and I believe Nicker knows this. One of the biggest important plays that you can play here in WarCraft 3 is knowing how to invest your time. For instance, you can see that Nicker here is now opting to try and level up the Dark Ranger instead of continuing that very aggressive pattern that he had earlier. The reason behind that, he knows that that Arcane Tower is going to be up and that those skeletal minions are not going to be nearly as effective. Rather than try and just push through a wall that is much too strong for him to deal with. He's going to instead change up his strategy. As you can see, the footman is going to end up getting that final blow off. No, the Dark Ranger just unable to catch up. The Skeletal Minion is now trying to go over there, and the Dark Ranger decides, you know what, not worth my time. Meanwhile, the Archmage opting to take down the Gargantuan Sea Turtle Creep Camp. This is a huge steal. All of the experience all across the map is very important, and I am surprised that Nicker does not know about this. Nicker not keeping a Wisp inside his own neck of the woods will actually end up haunting him. The Dark Ranger still seen at level 3, while the Archmage will get to level 4, and with double Gloves of Haste on a Mountain King, most likely, Bash is going to be that much more powerful. The faster or the more often you can proc Bash, the better it is, as it is essentially a free stun. Meanwhile, the Ancient of Wonders taking a bit of damage here, and you can see the Goblin Shredder has come by. All right, one Troll Shadow Priest now down. Troll Shadow Priest number 2 about to get taken down as well. There it goes. And all right, the Goblin Shredder is going to have a little bit of problems here. Oh, the Goblin Shredder, is it going to survive? Yes, it does. A Goblin Zeppelin picks it up in time. A beautiful steal, or a beautiful save there by Infi. Meanwhile, Nicker is now trying to go up against these water elementals. This is a very, very interesting choice, though. Infi is actually going to give a little bit of experience. The water elementals don't do that much damage to those troll berserkers because of that medium armor. With that damage reduction, all that was really done was giving extra experience to the Dark Ranger and that Naga Sea Witch, who is now trying to get to level 2. Infi is now getting up these towers here, and unless we see glaives, I do not think that tower is going to get shot down. Oh, Goblin Zeppelin overhead, quickly shot down there. There it goes. Nothing in it at all, though. A little bit of a lucky play by Infi. He was trying to do a little bit of scouting, and it still ended up working out. All right, Naga Sea Witch, not close enough to really slow down that Archmage. Archmage uses a potion of invulnerability very prematurely. Not quite sure what happened there, and Infi perhaps wants that play back, as we are now looking at a Clarity Potion being used and a Scroll of Regeneration. Coming back around, you can see that the Troll Berserker taking a little bit of damage here. Dryads now being added, as we are going to be going into the bit of that push. Dryads, Abolish Magic, going to be very important here. Slow Poison being applied to all of those peasants here, as this damage is going to really start racking up. Naga Sea Witch gets up to level 2, but the mana is still low on that Naga Sea Witch. This is not going to work out all too well. Skeletal Minions, getting taken out by a Fireball as opposed to the Arcane attack there. So Infi gets a little bit more experience. We are looking at a bit of a strong push if we can get this off, and that is going to be the big question, as now Militia now coming out from the north. Defend across Footman. Abolish Magic quickly takes down a Water Elemental, as the Archer tries to get away. No such luck, though, as now, the Ogre Mauler going to get taken down. There it goes, and now Skeletal Minions, the Dark Minions, coming in. So far, the Troll Shadow Priests have definitely been the hero unit on both sides of the fence, as the Abolish Magic and the Abolish Magic from those Troll Shadow Priests have really done a lot of damage to all the summon units. However, the Naga Sea Witch quickly gets taken down there. Dark Ranger now gets up to level 4. Archmage up to level 5, as the Footmen sit with Defend and are just going to reflect all of those attacks back towards all of these units here. Now, Nicker has an expansion of his own, and this is still extremely well played by both sides. You can see that the Dryads are now pulling back here. The Dark Ranger are going to get into position. And what's going on there? You have it. There is the engagement. The Null Overseer still engaging against that Dark Ranger, and the Naga Sea Witch should be resurrected momentarily. Both of the sides opting to regroup during this time, as the Archmage really creeping out creep camps for no other reason than to pick up items and extra gold. This is going to be a little bit of an unfortunate time for Infi, since he cannot really make any progress on his hero. The fact that Nicker has an expansion of his own means that both sides are pretty much mining the same. The only difference is that Infi is at no upkeep, but sitting on a very large 1,500 gold bank. Meanwhile, it looks like Nicker purposely dropped back one supply to stay in no upkeep as well. He needs to constantly mine until he can get up and running. All right, let's take a look at things. We are relatively close in terms of gold. Even because of the supply difference, it looks like one is much higher than the other, but that is definitely not the case here, as the Naga Sea Witch gets some damage onto that Archmage. Archmage got a little bit in front of himself, and that was actually a little bit of an unfortunate side effect there, as the Footman, even with Defend and Slow, still able to move relatively quickly, as the Footman is going to end up getting taken down here. The Footman actually with Defend, absorbing a bit of damage. Meanwhile, back over here, the Archmage gonna be in a serious bit of trouble. All right, you can see that the slow poison, the Dryad trying to get in front and doing exactly that. The Archmage in a bit of trouble here, constantly getting slowed, and the Dryad gets one more spear onto that Archmage, as the Archmage does get away. All right, the Footman now trying to regroup off to the north here. Archmage with Boots of Speed, a very fast hero, as yes, the Archmage now runs back off to the north. Naga Sea Witch at level 2, Dark Ranger sitting at level 4. Dryads come across, spot a water elemental. How many water elementals, how many abolish magics does it take to shut down a water elemental? Apparently not very many, as the Archmage now trying to get away, down to 127 hit points, very, very low, and now in a bit of trouble as the Footmen were purposely trapping. All right, Naga Sea Witch is going to be coming in. Dark Ranger, this could be a complete surprise here. No, Scroll of Town Portal, realizing the dangerous situation that the army was in, and I believe the Mountain King actually spotted that. Mountain King may end up falling at level 1, and more importantly, he does have a whole bunch of ivory towers that he could have used. Mountain King just gives experience to the Dark Ranger and Naga Sea Witch, not what he was expecting when he made his play. And now I believe the Naga Sea Witch will be getting to level 3. That Naga Sea Witch needs to turn off those cold arrows in order to save some mana for the upcoming fight. Yeah, not quite sure. Don't use those cold arrows. No, just don't do it. Say no. Alright, auto cast. Sometimes the bane of professional players' existence. Really no reason to cold up any of those units there, as the Naga Sea Witch now backs off. Dark Ranger still sitting at 4, so we are sitting at a level 5 Archmage and a level 1 Mountain King against a level 4 Dark Ranger and a level 3 Naga Sea Witch. Vile Temptress will be taken out pretty easily here, but we now see the Bronze Drakes being taken out as well. Boots of Speed, Mountain King quickly makes the rounds over and gets a lot of experience in a matter of seconds. The Archmage backed off in time. The Mountain King will get to level 2 here and will be on his way to level 3 once this Bronze Drake gets taken down. All right, they can take a look. Mountain King are almost up to level 3. And that is how quickly the experience game can change. The Dark Ranger still sitting at 4, not yet quite at 5. And it really feels like the Archmage of Infi and the Mountain King of Infi is using a much faster or a much more aggressive creep pattern. All right, Mountain King still sitting at 2. Oh, not quite sure why the Archmage didn't back off there. Perhaps timing was a big issue, as we're now looking at another expansion off to the north. The Cannon Tower, the Guard Tower, the Arcane Tower, Fairy Dragons all here, and this is going to be a very, very fast takedown as so much piercing damage is being brought in. All right, bears are there as well. There goes a couple of peasants. Meanwhile, the Archmage Mountain King still sitting at level 2 on that Mountain King, and that is going to be a bit of an issue since you really want level 3 to get that level 2 Stormbolt. Archmage decides to back off here. Mountain King will get to level 3, but this is going to be a very difficult creep camp to creep out. The Dark Wizard, the Green Drake, the Frost Armor, all makes for a relatively difficult creep camp, as you see that the Mountain King does get to level 3 here, and we see, oh, there goes a Red Drake to purposely try to challenge the Green Drake. I guess in a matchup like this where you know both sides have a whole bunch of abolished magic, you definitely don't want that to be the case. You don't want to end up feeding experience to your opponent, as we now see a level 4 Naga Sea Witch. Ankh of Reincarnation. I don't remember the last time I saw a game like this on Nomad Isle. Expansions, all across the place. Ancient of War. Oh, Mortar Team shows up in order to take down an Ancient of War. The Ancient of War will be forced to uproot in order to mitigate some of that damage. As we see, this expansion has been cleared out. Nicker could try to set up an expansion here or off to the top right. Meanwhile, you can take a look, sitting at high upkeep, 82 over 90. Meanwhile, 76 over 78. So Infi is harvesting, I believe, 14 gold as opposed to the 8 gold. Nicker should really reconsider how he's spending everything here. No, he's actually trying to expand a gold mine. So Nicker is hoping that this actually comes out ahead in the end. All right, doesn't need that. Well, I guess the bear is a really, really good call. Let's take a look at what's going to be happening here. Red Drake, Fairy Dragon. All right. Fairy Dragon Mana Flare mode, and this could be a problem as we now see a summoned unit here. Abolish Magic quickly taken out there, and that's what happens if you have too many summons, and Infi is now just feeding experience as there is enough Dryads. The problem is going to be now the slow, as the bears are constantly going to be slowed without the help of the Abolish Magic from those Dryads. Scroll of Healing now goes down. Bears going after all of those Spellbreakers. Water Elementals taking a little bit of damage, but quickly taken down once more. And once the Dryads finish off those Water Elementals, the Mortar Teams can finish off those Dryads pretty easily. But no Staff of Preservation. A huge miscalculation by the Naga Sea Witch and the Dark Ranger here, not having a Staff of Preservation, picking up a Scroll of Town Portal now, and now trying to get the heck out of dodge. This is going to be a very dangerous spot to be, and he is able to get away. But without that Staff of Preservation, I believe he took a significant amount of damage, much more than he was expecting or willing to, as we now see the Mountain King at level 4. Level 4 Mountain King, level 4 Naga Sea Witch, I believe. Yes, not level 4 Naga Sea Witch, both of them very close to level 5. But will the Naga Sea Witch, I don't even know the leveling of the skills on a level 5 Naga Sea Witch. It rarely ever happens, and you don't get to see it all that often. Alright, Naga Sea Witch, it gets a little bit more experience now, 60 experience shy. You can see a bit, oh, what was that? A beautiful sight overhead. The Tree of Life now needing to run away as the Mortar Teams were able to take down that enchanted or entangled gold mine. All right, instead, going to be going off over here. Tree of Life, I guess, yeah, Tree of Lives? Trees of Life, there we go. Trees of Life all across the map, as this Tree of Life is going to be heading back here to the 3 o'clock position. There are flying machines now overhead to try and challenge all of the fairy dragons. Meanwhile, a whole bunch of guard towers there. The fairy dragons are in position. Guard towers quickly going to get taken down there. One guard tower gets taken down, and now in comes the mortar teams, the flying machines, and everything else. This is going to be very bad. This is a very bad spot to try and fight, as the guard towers are there providing a bit of coverage. Dark Ranger now trying to pull back here. Silence, as the Dark Ranger able to shut down the Mountain King. But the Druid of the Claw is still in a bit of trouble. Staff of Preservation saves one, as we now see Scroll of Protection coming across. Fork Lightning coming across all over the place, as well as the Mountain King gets to level 5. Scroll of Protection, Mana Flare, taking down all of those Sorceress. Wow, that massive slow causing problems, as the Hippogriffs are now in the air waiting for more flying machines. Alright, this back and forth action here. Naga Sea Witch gets up to level 5, Potion of Invulnerability, as the Spellbreakers trying to challenge the Druids of the Claw, not really working, and now more units being forced to back off here. Nicker took a lot of damage in this fight, down to 62 over 100. Meanwhile, Infi is at 73 over 90, but Nicker does have more gold mines ready to go. Let's take a look. Infi only mining with 4 peasants there at the what I'll call the 11 o'clock position. Flying machines flying overhead. It looks like this expansion is not going to be operational for very much longer. And what was an economic advantage for Nicker is going to turn into a bit of a problem here in the final few moments, as the gold mines, the starting gold mines, are running out of gold. All right, let's take a look at this. All right, Tree of Life taking way too much damage. Wisp now trying to get away. Mass detonation all the way. What could it possibly mean? All right, it looks like the mortar team will take down that unit there, as the Mountain King may... Oh, there's another detonation. Stormbolt. Oh, both. Beautifully done by Infi. That was a beautiful play. Infi storm bolted the further wisp, knowing most likely that Nicker was going to detonate the closer one. So that was a beautiful play to kind of ensure both of those wisps went down. Infi still got a good amount of experience there, as we now see a scroll of town. Oh no, was that mass teleport? That had to have been mass teleport. Yes, mass teleport down over here as the Archmage now up to 6. Nicker trying to keep this Tree of Life alive. That is going to be a problem. Mana Flare, perhaps? No, this is not looking good at all. Mana Flare, all of a sudden, is it mass teleport again? No silence. Was there no silence from the Dark Ranger? Not quite sure why we didn't see silence, as the silence would have stopped that mass teleport and perhaps allowed the bears to just ravage all of those spellbreakers. Let's take a look back over here. Only one spellbreaker, one or two or a handful of spellbreakers here. Not very much of a front line. Never mind, there's 6. So 6 spellbreakers there. That is the front line of Infi. Meanwhile, cannon towers now being constructed all across the map. And this is one of those situations where mobility is king. And mobility is going to be playing a very big role in this game. All right, over here to the top right, you can see guard towers, scout towers now being constructed. It looks like Nicker's just going to be able to go straight up the middle, completely avoid all of those other units, as we now see, cannon towers, mortar teams trying to just rain down here at this expansion. Tree of Life is getting repaired. The mortar teams are in position here and doing a great job shutting down the Tree of Life. All right, Tree of Life is just going to pick up and move. Is it actually getting attacked? Yes. Where does it actually have sight? Not 100% sure, but the expansion on the top right now has been taken out as well. So far, I haven't seen Charm yet. The Ancient of War quickly gets cleared out here, as we now see, the cannon tower is not going to get up in time. Fairy Dragons not in the Mana Flare mode, making them very easy to take out, or as they do not have that bonus 12 armor. Hippogriff is out in play. The Hippogriff should really be engaging against those flying machines, as more Fork Lightning coming in. Bears coming across. Are we going to get a silence this time around? Yes, it was silence, and the Archmage now using a Scroll of Town Portal. All right, this is going to be a lot of damage going as they leave, and yes, a lot of damage is dealt. Guard Tower is now taken down as well, but the Tree of Life stays alive, and that's all Nicker really needed. Nicker staying alive ever so barely, but he will have to re-entangle that gold mine. It is 1 gold mine to 1 right now, as the Tree of Eternity is here, and will have gold for another 6 minutes. Dark Ranger is sitting at level 6, and I believe you can in fact charm spellbreakers. So the spellbreakers getting charmed is going to become a very big deal, as the Dark Ranger can steal his opponent's units. Now, the question is, what is he going to steal? What is going to be happening here? And there is a Black Drake, which will get taken down. Mountain King, sitting at level 5, has a stone token, and that is huge. Stone token, giving a Mountain King and the human army another way to stun units. That is going to be a very, very big fight altogether. That is absolutely going to be a problem. All right, let's take a look at this. Bears coming back around. They're still running off to the north, and I'm looking at the time going, oh my gosh, I'm expecting company in like 3 minutes. That's bad. Anyways, let's go ahead. Bears now coming down. Dark Ranger coming into position. Naga Sea Witch. This is all going to be a very big fight here. Mortar teams are now just raining down here. This is going to be extremely bad news, as the mortar teams and spellbreakers are looking for a fight. Mass teleport comes in. Are we going to get the silence? Yes, we do. Archmage now in trouble. Spellbreaker quickly charmed as Nicker steals it. Now the Spellbreaker, however, does not steal the actual weapon upgrades, but does get control magic. All right, there's a Scroll of Town Portal now being used, as all the units are going to be backing out. Mana Flare, there you go. All the units taken out, as the Spellbreaker does end up staying alive. Back off, back to the top right, you can see one bear was trying to clear out the town hall, unable to do so. And that was a mass teleport into that position there. And Nicker is just trying to get back. Will he be able to Staff of Preservation that bear? Bear down to 268 hit points. Still trying to run away. Is it going to get close? The Dark Ranger, is it going to Staff of Preservation it? Yes, it does. And it gets sent home safely. Druid of the Claw down to 75 hit points and stays alive. We are now at 2 bases to 1. No, 2 bases to 2 eventually, as Infi now setting up another expansion here. This has just turned into a crazy, crazy game. And if we actually see Monsoon, the level 5 Naga. Oh, beautiful Stormbolt taking down a bear. Oh, that was a huge steal there. Mountain King getting an easy kill. And the Druid of the Claw just not expecting that. The Mountain King could try to come in with another Stormbolt here. And there it is. Stormbolting that Druid of the Claw. Perhaps we'll see some rejuvenation. This could be a huge, huge problem as a 350 hit point Stormbolt taking down bear after bear after bear. Mortar teams now raining down on this Tree of Life. Tree of Life now quickly taken down. Fork Lightning comes down. Are we going to see perhaps a bit of damage coming in? Another Stormbolt. That level 3 Stormbolt really just throwing things for a loop as the Rock Golem now able to throw a couple of stone boulders as well. All right, Fairy Dragon gets taken down there. Nicker has 3 Spellbreakers. That is a huge, huge turnaround as we see Nicker trying to just stay alive with all of these bears. All right, bears now trying to run back here. Another Fork Lightning and still not sure who's going to win out in this fight. A whole bunch of water elementals. Infi is going to be able to come back over here, and it looks like the Dark Ranger is going to be forced to retreat. Nicker gives the GG as Infi takes game 1. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.